As men reach their 70s, life often settles into a more relaxed rhythm. They've worked hard, and now it's time to enjoy the fruits of their labor. But here's the thing. Sometimes we overlook how the words we use can shape the way we feel and live. Over the years, certain phrases or ways of speaking may have become second nature, yet without realizing it, they could be limiting our potential for joy, health, and fulfillment. These words might seem harmless, but they hold the power to influence our mindset and the way we approach life's next chapter. What if we could shift the way we speak and in turn unlock a new, more vibrant version of ourselves? If you're over 70, you've probably caught yourself saying some of these words or phrases time and again. But what if those words are mental traps holding you back from living your best life? Stick with us for the next few minutes, and by the end, you'll see how changing the way you speak can open up a whole new world of possibilities. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more insights, and feel free to drop a comment below. What words do you find yourself saying most often? Let's start this conversation and discover how we can all live more freely, starting with the words we use every day. I want to start with the word that I hear often from men in their later years. I'm too old for that. Now think about this for a moment. When you say you're too old for something, you're not just stating a fact. You're giving yourself permission to limit your potential. This phrase, I'm too old for that, is like putting an invisible fence around your possibilities. I remember a conversation I had with my uncle just a few years ago. He was sitting by the window in his favorite chair, looking out at the changing seasons. With a slight sigh, he told me, I'm too old to learn new things. It's just the way it is. And it hit me. He didn't believe it was possible for him to change anymore. He thought age had stripped him of the ability to try new things. But I didn't see it that way. My uncle had every reason to continue trying new hobbies, meeting new people, and expanding his world. You see, age does not make you too old. It makes you more experienced. It gives you wisdom that can make learning even more enjoyable. Age is not a limitation. Your mindset is. If you replace I'm too old for that with I'm not too old to try, you'll start to see opportunities everywhere. It's never too late to try something new. This brings me to the next word that I want to talk about, I can't. How many times have you said this? How many times have you told yourself you couldn't do something because of your age or your physical condition? It's easy to give in to the idea that you can't do things, especially when your body starts to change. I remember talking to my friend Greg, who's in his early 70s, and hearing him say, I can't exercise anymore. My joints just aren't what they used to be. He had almost accepted this as his reality, as if saying I can't was the end of the story. But the truth is, I can't is just a mental block. It's not a fact, it's a belief that you have the power to change. Maybe you can't run like you used to, but can you walk? Can you swim? Can you cycle or do yoga? There are so many ways to stay active, no matter what your body feels like. The key is to stop saying I can't and instead say, I'll find a way. Once you shift your mindset, the possibilities open up. The body might change, but that doesn't mean it can't adapt. And you, my friend, can adapt. Another word that seems to sneak into the vocabulary of older men is should. I should get out more. I should exercise more. I should eat better. When you say should, it comes with a sense of guilt, an obligation. And let me tell you, guilt and obligation will never motivate you. The word should weighs you down. It adds pressure that actually makes it harder to take action. Instead of saying you should do something, say that you want to do it. For instance, don't say, I should exercise more. Say, I want to feel stronger and healthier. This small change in language changes your entire perspective. When you want to do something, it's no longer a chore. It becomes a choice, an opportunity to invest in yourself. My friend John always said he should be more active, but he never got around to it. One day I asked him to drop the should and replace it with want. He did, and within a week, he was out walking every day, just like he'd always wanted to. The words we use matter because they shape how we think, how we feel, and ultimately how we live. Then there's the word never. You've probably heard someone say, I'll never be able to do that, or that will never happen. The problem with never is that it's a word of finality, a word that closes doors before you've even tried to open them. Let's talk about my neighbor Bob. He's in his late 70s and used to tell me all the time, "I'll never travel again. It's just too much for me now." He had decided that his days of seeing new places were over. But one day, after talking about some of his old travel adventures, he told me he was thinking about taking a short trip to a nearby town. He wasn't sure if he could do it, but he decided to give it a try. That trip turned into more trips, and before long, Bob had seen more of the world in his 70s than most people ever do. It wasn't because he was special or had some hidden secret. It was because he stopped saying never and started saying maybe. The word never is a roadblock. It's a self-imposed limit. And once you remove it, you'll see that anything is possible, no matter how old you are. Another phrase that becomes too familiar over time is too late. It's too late to start something new. It's too late to make a change. But let me tell you something. It's never too late. When I was younger, I used to believe that certain things had an expiration date, that by a certain age, the window of opportunity was closed forever. But then I met George, a man in his 80s who decided to go back to college after retirement. He didn't care about his age. He wanted to learn. And not only did he go back to school, but he excelled. He found a new passion in art and even started exhibiting his work. George proved to me and to everyone around him that it's never too late to make a change, to start something new, to reinvent yourself. Age doesn't stop you unless you let it. If there's something you've always wanted to do, don't wait until tomorrow. Start today. It's never too late. The word old is another one that I want to address. So many people in their 70s and 80s use this word to define themselves. I'm old now. I'm just an old man. But here's the thing. Old is just a label, and it doesn't define you. Age is a number, and while your body may change, your mind, your spirit, and your willpower don't have to. I remember meeting a man in his 90s who still jogged every morning and read several books a week. When I asked him what his secret was, he smiled and said, "I don't feel old. I feel like me." That's the mindset we need to adopt. Stop labeling yourself as old. Age doesn't have to be a barrier. It can be a gateway to new opportunities, new adventures, and new ways of thinking. Finally, there's one more word I want to talk about. I wish. I wish I had done this. I wish I had taken that chance. I wish I had been more active. The problem with I wish is that it keeps you stuck in the past, trapped in regret. But the past is over, and you can't change it. What you can change is right now. You have the power to act today, to make decisions that will shape your future. Don't let your life be defined by I wish. Let it be defined by what you do today, by the choices you make now. As we reach the later stages of life, it's important to recognize the power of language, the words we speak to ourselves and to others. Every time you say something limiting, you reinforce that belief in your mind. But every time you choose empowering words, words like I can, I will, and I want, you open up a world of possibilities. Don't let your words hold you back. Let them propel you forward to a life that's full of growth, adventure, and endless potential. Because it's never too late to start, and you're never too old to thrive. To wrap things up, remember this. The words we use have power. They shape not only how we see the world, but also how we see ourselves. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that age limits us, but in reality, the only true limitations are the ones we place on ourselves through the language we use. Every time you say, I can't, I'm too old, or it's too late, you're telling your mind to stop. But when you start speaking words of possibility, like I will, I can, and I want, you open up a whole new world of opportunities. It's all about shifting the way you think, and that starts with how you speak. It doesn't matter how old you are or what stage of life you're in. There's always room for growth, for new experiences, and for fresh beginnings. The key to living a fulfilling life isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating that moment with the choices you make today. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward a life that's richer and more meaningful. Don't let the words you say define what's possible. Let your actions do that instead. So take a moment today to look at the words you're using and ask yourself, are they empowering you or holding you back? It's never too late to start fresh, to embrace change, and to pursue what truly matters to you. The next chapter of your life is waiting, And it all begins with a simple shift in language. Take control, speak with intention, and live the life you've always wanted, because you're never too old to thrive.